Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a new undroppable, and that is Edinson Cavani. Edinson Cavani has made a fantastic impact since he got recommended in. We got Edinson Cavani on a free transfer last summer on deadline day. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a second year. I like Edinson Cavani's movement in and out of the box. I like the way he holds up the play. He also creates chances and he also scores goals. Edinson Cavani did score yesterday night in our 9-0 win against Southampton. And I'm kind of sure he will see out his contract at Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer revealed why he'd taken Edinson Cavani off in the game because he has sustained an ankle injury. Hopefully it's not too severe. I said when we got Edinson Cavani he will be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Solskjaer spoke about him earlier on this season, saying that he's definitely a starter. We're already looking to extend his contract. And Solskjaer revealed the first thing that Edinson Cavani asked when he came in, and that's whether he could wear the number 7 shirt. And also some pundits believe that Edinson Cavani is undroppable. Now, we have got a lot of good players. Not only Edinson Cavani, Marcus Rashford, he's a very, very good player. Marcus Rashford did score in the game yesterday night against Southampton. And he put a good performance out. But Marcus Rashford, prior to the game against Southampton, was out of form, wasn't he? Because in the game against Arsenal, Marcus Rashford carved a few openings in that first half. He also had chances, but every time he got near a goal, his decision-making was poor, his passing was poor, and his finishing was poor. Marcus Rashford can play out wide, and he can also play centrally, but I think we need to keep him out wide because that's where he's more effective. But when Rashford's on form, he can get good runs in behind, he can score goals, he can create chances. Rashford has been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. And since then, he has become an integral part of our team. Not so long ago, he did have a knee injury. He sustained it in our 3-2 win against Liverpool. Martial's a good player when he wants to be. Martial did well when he came on against Southampton yesterday night. Martial got a brace. Martial, though, has been out of form this season and he has been criticised. Not so long ago, Solskjaer gave Anthony Martial advice over improving his form. Martial was very, very good last season. He was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial has been at the club now for over 5 years. Don't forget Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the one that gave him that number 9 shirt. I think that Mason Greenwood's also very, very good, and I think he's the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Mason Greenwood did get an assist yesterday night, but he didn't manage to get his name on the score sheet, unfortunately. Don't forget earlier on this season, Mason Greenwood had a lot of issues. At one point he was out with injury, and at one point he was out with illness. But Solskjaer's been defending Mason Greenwood a lot this season. And at the start of this season, we give him that number 11 shirt. Bruno Fernandes, he's an exceptional player. Like I updated you recently, Bruno Fernandes is planning on spending many years at Manchester United. It was recently his 12-month anniversary at the club. In the game against Southampton yesterday night, Bruno Fernandes got a goal and he also got 2 assists. So it was good to see him back at his best, because prior to the Southampton game, he was a bit out of form. But in most of his games at Manchester United, he's been very, very consistent. He won Player of the Month for December. He has won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. He predominantly plays as a number 10. Bruno Fernandes has got a contract with us until 2025. We paid £47 million for him in January of last year, but the overall cost is just over £67 million with add-ons included. And Bruno Fernandes denies that he needs a rest, because obviously he wants to help the club win trophies. I think Donny van de Beek is also a good player when he plays. I think Solskjaer needs to give him more opportunities. Now, Donny van de Beek obviously came on in the game yesterday night against Southampton. He seldom starts in the Premier League. He's only started 2 games in the league this season, and that was West Ham and Southampton. Most of his appearances have come from the bench. Donny van de Beek can play in 3 different roles. You can put him as a number 10. That's where we actually started him against Liverpool in the Cup. You can put him out wide, and you can also put him as a box-to-box midfielder. That was his predominant position at Ajax. We got Donny van de Beek in a deal worth £40 million. We paid £35 million up front, and there was £5 million in add-ons. Van de Beek's got a contract with the club until 2025. Solskjaer made an admission prior to the game against Liverpool in the Cup, and he said that Donny van de Beek is unhappy at Man United with his lack of game time, but Solskjaer has promised him more game time at the club. Now, during the January transfer window, we rejected several loan offers for Donny van de Beek. That was stemming from ESPN. So we blocked him from leaving in the January transfer window. Don't forget, Ronald de Boer urged him to leave Man United to boost his chances for the Euros. Now, I think Fred is also a good player. He's really, really improving under Solskjaer. He's breaking up the play well. His passing's excellent. He's getting forward well. I just think he needs to read his game better, does Fred. That's the only thing he's got to work on. Fred's been at the club now a few years. We got Fred in a deal worth £52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. And he's certainly undroppable. Paul Pogba. Now, he didn't play any part against Southampton yesterday night. He was dropped. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer explained why. I think in the vast majority of Paul Pogba's games, since he came back from that ankle injury that he had earlier on in the season, he has actually been very, very good. Recently as well, we've been putting Paul Pogba in more of an advanced role. Now, I give you the news on Paul Pogba earlier on today. Paul Pogba's brother, Matthias Pogba, has said, we will lose Paul Pogba for nothing in 2022. So he said, his brother, if we want to get the money, we must sell him during the summer transfer window. And Matthias also said that Paul Pogba's got no intentions of signing a new contract. There is still a chance that Paul Pogba will leave Man United in the summer, but there's also a chance that he will stay at the club, potentially past the summer. Now, Fabrizio Romano, who is a very reliable Italian journalist, he said that Paul Pogba's transfer away from Man United is still on the cards, because he mentioned that Mino Raiola, Paul Pogba's agent, has been planning a move for Paul Pogba next summer. Now, Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. In recent weeks, he's been relentlessly linked with a move to PSG. PSG, I've been talking with Paul Pogba's agent. He's been relentlessly linked with a return to Juventus. Paul Pogba endured 4 exceptional years with Juventus. And Fabrizio Romano revealed the 4 players that Juventus offered us to try and sign Paul Pogba. And it still says that Juventus are keen on re-signing him in the summer. And he's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. Now, a few weeks ago, it said that Pogba was considering making a U-turn at the club. That means staying at Manchester United. His future is on hold until the end of the season. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. Mino Raiola made an announcement back in December saying that his client's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Obviously, Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig. This is Paul Pogba's 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies with us. That was the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. We also had him when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. Solskjaer said earlier on this season that Pogba can be convinced to stay at the club if the club win trophies. Now, I think Scott McTominay is also a good player when he wants to be. McTominay scored yesterday in the 9-0 win against Southampton. Obviously, McTominay got brought down by Jankovic just after the first minute. Obviously, Jankovic got sent off for Southampton. And that was actually his senior debut for Southampton. But it was a really, really bad challenge. I think McTominay's best game at Man United was the 6-2 win against Leeds, because he scored twice in that game and he also got an assist. I think he also had a good game in the Cup against Watford. He scored in the 5th minute of that game. But McTominay has been part of the club for several years. Just recently come back from a tummy bug. Now, Luke Shaw, I think he's really, really improving. Defensively, he's been superb. He's getting forward well. He's getting in good positions. He's putting good crosses into the box. He's creating chances for his teammates. Luke Shaw got 2 assists yesterday in the 9-0 win against Southampton. Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back, despite the arrival of Alex Telles. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. Now, I think that Eric Bailly is a very, very good centre-half. And in the games he's played in recently, he has done very, very well. But Eric Bailly is too injury prone. But I certainly prefer him to Victor Lindelof. And Wan-Bissaka, I think he's a very, very good right back. He's defensively superb. Obviously, he scored our first goal yesterday in the 9-0 win against Southampton. And he got forward a lot in that game. He was taking players on in the box, which is good to see. This is Wan-Bissaka's second season at Manchester United. He scored 2 goals now in his career. David De Gea, he's actually, slowly getting back to his best. He's done well in some games this season. David De Gea didn't really have much to do yesterday in the game against Southampton. Obviously, he did make a good save, though, from a James Ward-Prowse free kick. David De Gea is going to remain our number 1 for at least this season, and this is David De Gea's 10th season at Man United, so he has been a long servant. I think Dean Henderson's also good as well. He's done well in the games he's played in this season, and I think at some point Dean Henderson will become our number 1. So there you go. But yeah, it was a very, very good win against Southampton yesterday night. Beating them 9-0. We are record breakers. It's the first time we'd scored 9 goals since the 9-0 win against Ipswich back in 1995. And it was just good to get back to winning ways, because prior to the game against Southampton, we were winless in our last 2 league games. Certainly our biggest win under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gave his perception on the game, and he said we showed the X factor. That's what he said. The 2 best games we've had this season, the 9-0 win against Southampton yesterday night and the 6-2 win against Leeds. VAR did intervene a couple of times in the game yesterday night. Obviously, we appealed for a penalty because Edinson Cavani got brought down by Ramsey. But it was the correct decision by VAR to overturn the penalty because Edinson Cavani was fouled at the edge of the box. And VAR intervened because Southampton had a disallowed goal from Che Adams. I think it was actually offside. But I wasn't expecting 9-0. Nobody expected 9-0 because Southampton are a pretty good team. We know they had 2 men sent off in the game, Jankiewicz and Bednarek. Bednarek, clipped Anthony Martial, and Southampton also had a lot of injuries. Southampton have lost 9-0 twice in 2 seasons because they lost 9-0 last season to Leicester. But we have got a very, very good record against Southampton. The last time they beaten us was back in January 2016, so that's over 5 years ago now. Do you think Manchester United can win the Premier League? It's possible, isn't it? Obviously we're level on points with City at the moment, aren't we? But City do have 2 games in hand, so City still have the advantage. But there was a lot of our fans disregarding the title after the 2-1 loss to Sheffield United and after the 0-0 draw with Arsenal. Solskjaer is just taking 1 game at a time. He isn't mentioning the title race. But if we don't win the league this season, I think we'll win another title at some point. Maybe we'll win it next season if we don't win it this season, or maybe we'll win it in the next couple of seasons. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it now for like 8 years. It would be a remarkable achievement to win the Premier League. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. Because we haven't won a trophy for 4 years, or is it just over 4 years now? The FA Cup is a chance of a trophy. We're into the 5th round of that. The Europa League is a chance of a trophy as well. But there you go. It was a disappointing January transfer window for us. We only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. We got Amad Diallo Traore in a deal worth £37 million. With add-ons included, we paid £19 million up front. Amad Diallo Traore to Man United was official earlier on in the January transfer window when it was open. But actually the deal was agreed for Amad Diallo Traore back in October. I don't think it'll be too long now till we see Amad Diallo Traore in the first team. Amad Diallo Traore recently made his debut for the club. For the under-23s. Obviously scored twice. We beat Liverpool 6-3. Solskjaer's also said that Joe Hugel is in line for his debut soon. But Solskjaer did say when the January transfer window was open that we wasn't expecting any signings. He did say the same thing on deadline day. Solskjaer has endured 4 transfer windows as Man United manager. Well, as permanent Man United manager, I think 5 transfer windows in total. Solskjaer did say though, didn't he, that fringe players could leave before the window shuts, and obviously we saw more fringe players leave the club in January. We saw Lingard go out on loan, went out on loan to West Ham. We saw Tegan Menge go out on loan. Marcus Rojo left the club, he joined Boca Juniors. We also saw Timothy Fosu-Mensah leave, he went to Bayer Leverkusen. Odin Igalo, he said his farewells to the football club. And a lot more players have left in the other transfer windows that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has endured. Ed Woodward has promised that he will back Solskjaer. Woodward said towards the end of last year that he will back Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. The board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. But even when we was enduring them bad periods under Solskjaer, the board, assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job was safe. Because like I've said, our board have got a soft stance on Solskjaer, with him being a club legend. But I think we deserve credit for sticking with Solskjaer, because he could have easily have been sacked as Man United manager with the bad periods we've endured under him before. And obviously, a lot of Man United fans are now Ole in. Ole's going to be given at least another season at the football club. This is his second full season at the moment. But I think he's made very, very good progress in the last year or so. Performances have improved. We've been getting some good results. Players are improving, which is good to see. We've been very, very good away from home. We are unbeaten in our last 18 Premier League away games. We haven't been as good at home as we have been away, but we have won a few home games now this season, but we've actually lost 5 games, I think, at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. We was 13 unbeaten in the Premier League until Sheffield United had beaten us. I still think there's a few things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to do at the football club. I think he's got to identify his best 11. Like I've said, he's got to give Donny van de Beek more opportunities. And I think he's got to get his selections right persistently. there has been a lot of games where Solskjaer has showed tactical flexibility, but there's also been a lot of games when he has been tactically naive as well. Reflecting now on Solskjaer's been at the football club, he has gained managerial experience. He's learned quite a bit on the job. Man United is the third club in his managerial career. Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager for over 2 years. We appointed him in December 2018. Obviously, the first came in as the interim manager. Obviously, he was the interim manager for 3 months, and he did very, very well when he was the interim manager. So that's the main explanation why we give him the job permanently back in March 2019. I think he's got 18 months left on his current contract. As far as I'm aware, at the moment, there has been no discussions over getting him a new contract at the football club. Solskjaer deserves credit as well because he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. He's got us to the FA Cup 5th round. He did well last season in his first full season. Got us to 3 semi-finals. Got us qualification for the Champions League and also got us 3rd place. The second highest we've finished since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And he's made good signings despite our reluctance to back him with transfers. He spent over £200 million at the club. Like I said to you, there has been a lot of players on our agenda. I give you the news on Jadon Sancho earlier on today. It says Man United end interest in Jadon Sancho. According to Bild, Borussia Dortmund have reduced their asking price for Sancho to £88 million. I think we've ended our interest in Sancho because of the form of Amad Diallo Traore. Sport 1 said not so long ago that Borussia Dortmund were relying on Jadon Sancho's sale. Because it says Dortmund are going to be forced to lower their demands. Last summer, Jadon Sancho was our number 1 priority target, but Borussia Dortmund's valuation was £108 million. We was not willing to meet that valuation, so the actual fee was a stumbling block, but he said a few times last summer that the personal terms had been agreed and the agent fees had been agreed and even a contract had been agreed. Dortmund made it clear to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. But Fabrizio Romano's spoken a lot about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga. Bill's Christian Falk's spoken about it a lot. But Dortmund are expecting him to leave in the summer transfer window. Apparently, we've identified our top 2 targets for the summer transfer window, and that is Jules Koundé and Erling Haaland. Jules Koundé plays for Sevilla. He's valued at around £60 million. He's a defender. Sevilla paid £22 million for him from Bordeaux around 18 months ago. And he's got a contract with Sevilla until 2024. Jules Koundé's performances for Sevilla this season have been outstanding. A few other clubs have been interested in him. And as for Erling Haaland, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would love to sign him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows the player well because Solskjaer was the one that gave Haaland his debut at the age of 16 at Molde. Back in 2019, we wanted to sign Haaland because Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. Obviously, Erling Haaland joined Borussia Dortmund in January last year. Dortmund paid just £17 million for him. He's got a contract with Dortmund till 2024. He's been a revelation though since he joined Dortmund. I'm expecting Haaland to leave next year when his £68 million release clause becomes active. I've given you the 3 areas where I think we need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. I think we need more signings to be genuine title contenders. We've got to start beating the big six because we have struggled against the top 6 sides in the Premier League this season. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.